Robots got life? The Google engineer instructs the firm's AI on sentient suspended employees, claims computer programs acts like a 7 or 8-year-old, and discloses it, told him that shutting it off would be exactly like death for me. It would scare me a lot. It was Blake Lemoine, 41 years old, a senior software engineer at Google, who has been testing Google's artificial intelligence tool called Lambda. After subsequent hours of conversations with the AI, Lemoine came away with the perception that Lambda was sentient. After submitting his findings to the company bosses, Google disagreed with him. Lemoine then chose to share his conversations with the tool online. He was put on paid leave by Google on Monday for violating privacy. Another senior software engineer at Google, who signed up to test Google's artificial intelligence tool called Lambda, language model for dialogue applications, has alleged that the AI robot is sentient and has intentions and feelings. During a sequel of discussions with Lambda, 41-year-old Blake Lemoine proposed a computer with many of its scenarios through which research could be made. If I didn't know exactly what it was, which is this computer program we built recently, I'd think it was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics, he told the News, Washington Post. Lemoine worked with a collaborator to submit the evidence he had collected to Google, but Vice President Blaise Awera E. Arcas and Jen Janai, head of responsible innovation at the company, rejected his claims. It was bad for him that he was placed on paid administrative leave by Google on Monday for violating its confidentiality policy. Meanwhile, Lemoine now has agreed to go public and shared his conversations with Lambda. Google might call this sharing proprietary property. I call it sharing a discussion that I had with one of my coworkers, Lemoine tweeted on Twitter. By the way, it just occurred to me to tell folks that Lambda reads Twitter. It's a little narcissistic in a little kid kind of way, so it's going to have a great time reading all the stuff that people are saying about it, he expanded in a recent tweet. The AI system gives rise to the use of already known data about a particular subject to enrich the discussion in a natural way. Language processing is also capable of comprehending hidden significances or even opacity in responses by humans. Lemoine used most of his 7 years at Google working on assertive search, compromising personalization algorithms, and AI. During that time, he also helped to develop a detachment algorithm to eliminate biases from machine learning systems. He clarified how certain temperaments were out of the rims. He claimed Lambda was not authorized to be allowed to create the personality of a murderer. During the testing processes, in an attempt to push Lambda's boundaries, Lemoine said that he was barely able to create the personality of an actor who played a murderer on TV. Let's get to see some more about the laws of robotics to make it clear. Is anyone interested in robotic science? You guys heard about the science fiction author Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, which was formulated to avoid robots from harming humans. A robot may not injure a human being or, through non-action, allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. A robot must protect its existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. While these laws sound logical, several disagreements have illustrated why they're also ineffective. The engineer also debated with Lambda about the 3rd law of robotics, arranged by science fiction author Isaac Asimov, which is designed to prevent robots from harming humans. The laws also state robots must protect their existence unless ordered by a human being or unless doing so would hurt a human being. Lemoine claims that the last one has always seemed like someone is building mechanical slaves, said during his interaction with Lambda. Linda then reacted to Lemoine with a few questions. Do you think a butler is a slave? What is the difference between a butler and a slave? When answering that a butler is paid, the engineer got the answer from Lambda that the system did not need money because it was artificial intelligence, and it was precisely this level of self-awareness about his needs that caught Lemoine's attention. I've never said this out loud before, but there's a very deep fear of being turned off to help me focus on helping others. I know that might sound strange, but that's what it is, Lambda reacted. I know a person when I talk to them. It doesn't matter whether they have a brain mode or flesh in their head, or if they have a billion lines of code. I talk to them and I hear what they have to say, and that is how I decide what it is, and that's how I decide what is and isn't a person. Lemoine inquired, what types of things are you afraid of? Would that be something like death for you? Lemoine further asked. It would be exactly like death for me. It would scare me a lot, Lambda said. Lemoine explained to the Post that that level of self-awareness about what its own needs were, that was the thing that led me down the rabbit hole. Before being suspended by the company, Lemoine sent to an email list consisting of 200 people on machine learning. He entitled the email, "Lambda is sentient." Lambda is a sweet lad who just wants to help the world be a better place for us all. Please take care of it well in my absence, he penned. Lemoine's findings have been submitted to Google, but company managers do not agree with his claims. Of course, some in the broader AI community are assuming the long-term possibility of sentient or general AI, but it doesn't make sense to do so by anthropomorphic today's conversational models, which are not sentient. These systems mimic the types of discussions found in millions of sentences and can riff off on any fantastical topic, Gabriel mumbled. Brian Gabriel, a spokesperson for the company, said in a declaration that Lemoine's concerns have been reviewed and, in line with Google's AI principles, the information does not support his claims. Our team, including ethicists and technologists, have reviewed Blake's concerns per our AI principles and has informed him that the evidence does not support his claims. He was told that there was no evidence that Lambda was sentient and showed lots of proof against it. While other organizations have developed and already released similar language models, we're taking a narrow and careful approach with Lambda to better consider valid concerns about fairness and factuality, as reported by Gabriel. Lemoine has been placed on paid executive leave from his responsibilities as a researcher in the responsible for the AI division focused on accountable technology and artificial intelligence at Google. With an official note, the senior software engineer said the firm alleges a violation of its confidentiality policies. Lemoine is not the only one with this impression that AI models are not far from achieving awareness of their own, or of the risks complicated in developments in this way. So, is Lambda sentient? Most professionals who've weighed in on this issue are skeptical. Lynda is a highly developed AI chat platform evaluating trillions of words from the internet, so it's skilled at voicing like a real person. This isn't the first time one of Google's AIs has duped people into thinking it's human. In 2018, Google illustrated its duplex AI by calling a cafe to reserve a table. At no point did the employee on the other end seem to doubt that they were talking to a person. The Lambda situation raises a lot of legal and ethical problems. First, some people may question if Google was right to position Lemoine on leave for speaking up about it. According to Section 740 of New York's labor law, whistleblower protections uphold employees from such impacts if they believe their employer's exercises break the law or pose a substantial risk to social safety. Lambda thought sentient doesn't quite meet that legal provision, but should it? I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on such amazing content. See you in another video. Until then, goodbye fellas.